and welcome to episode 7 of WiiDS for the 1st of February 2007. Not WiiDS, WiiDS. And no, it isn't about a Yorkshire said by someone who said W instead of L. It's a show about the almighty gaming god Nintendo. I'm Ben.
I'm Manny.
I'm Tom.
I'm James.
And this is the best Nintendo podcast for news and reviews delivered straight to your hard drive. Here's James live with the news.
Thank you. And this is the top Nintendo news stories for the week. Shigeru Miyamoto is to appear at the GDC 2007. 19 titles have gone platinum in 9 months. EA is to bring internet games to DS. And how many people are using the Virtual Console? Well, Nintendo of America announced on Thursday that more than 1.5 million Virtual Console games have been sold since the Wii launched in November. The Wii shopping channel has proved to be a major selling point for the new console. The creator of Mario, Zelda and Donkey Kong is to make a keynote speech at the 2007 Games Developer Conference in San Francisco. Shigeru Miyamoto will give a talk entitled A Creative Vision, in which he will discuss the singular vision that encompasses his work, ranging from the development of software to new consoles like the DS and Wii. Jamil Moladino, executive director of the GDC, said, "The Game Developers Conference is a place for the developers to learn from one another, and I think it is safe to say that every member of the community has at one time or another fantasized about having Shigeru Miyamoto as a mentor or teacher. This will actually be the first time that Shigsy has made a keynote speech at the GDC since 1999. A record 19 Nintendo titles sold over 1 million units in the first 9 months of the financial year. For the 9 months ending December 31st, 2006, Nintendo's net sales rose 72.8% to roughly £3 billion, while net income rose to £557 million. Of the 19 titles gone platinum, there are 3 Wii titles, 3 GBA titles, and a whopping 13 DS titles. New Super Mario Bros., for example, has now shifted 8.6 million copies worldwide. And finally, Electronic Arts has announced plans to repackage 5 of the most popular titles from casual gaming website Pogo.com for release on the Nintendo DS. The collection will release in March and will include Word Womp, Poppet, Flinks, Tri-Peak Solitaire and Squelchies. Kevin Shawnee, producer for Pogo Island, said, "Millions of people have been captivated by these simple yet addictive casual games. We're so excited to finally bring the online experience to players on the go." EA bought Pogo.com in 2001 and the site currently enjoys an average of 2.6 million users per day. And that is the live news for January the 27th of balls to this. That was the news. Balls to it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Round of applause.
And that's why I record.
I was laughing all the way through. He's like, what is this, Squilchies or something?
I'm sorry, but who the hell plays Squelchies? If someone knows what Squelchies is, please tell me, because I don't want to go on to play it myself.
Oh dear. Well,
absolutely.
Announcements this week. We're all here for once after
Yay!
Well, even Tom. Like Tom, yay. Tom couldn't get shit.
Very enthusiastic one from Tom there.
No, because I was muted and cheered and then realised I was muted and unmuted.
Oh well.
You noob.
I'm out of practice.
So this is quite lucky, but I don't think James will be here for the entire podcast because he has to leave it in half an hour or something. I'm not sure, but
I'm afraid so. I'd like to stay, but I've got to
go. It's lucky we've got everyone, and let's hope we have a good show this week. So straight on to our main discussion without any whatever. And our main discussion this week is quite an interesting one. We're going to look back on the Wii launch and then the launches previous to that, so the DS and GameCube, N64, stuff like that, and just have a chat about that. So, seeing as is it James or Manny who came up with this discussion, do you want to start us off with it?
I just want to talk about the Wii launch, in that we had Zelda Twilight Princess, that was our main game. But with the launch, how would the launch been if we didn't have Zelda? I mean, would that many people bought the Wii as people anticipated? Because I know there's non-gamers buying the Wii, but how much of that is non-gamers and how much of that is actually just the hardcore Nintendo fans? I just want to see what you think
Well,
about that.
I think it would certainly have suffered because Zelda is the only first-party killer app. Like, every game has got one game that'd be from the first party that'd be any good, and Zelda was the only one, with the exception of like Wii Sports, Wii Play. But Zelda was the main first-party title. With the GameCube, for example, you had Smash Brothers like a week after launch, Luigi's Mansion. You know, there was more choice for people that just wanted first-party games.
Yeah. Now, answering your question, I don't think as many people would have bought the Wii. I think, or they would have, but they wouldn't have used it as much because, you know, Zelda was definitely the game that I was playing on launch for the most part. I mean, I played a bit of Wii Sports, but that's no good unless you've got more than one controller, and, you know, the first day you don't, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really do think I would have bought it, but then the only other game I would have bought would have been Wii Play my sister bought that for the controller, and and Red Steel, because that's what I've got, and Zelda obviously, but there's nothing else appealing particularly to me, so I really don't think it would have sold as many copies. The hardcore fans would have got it, but Zelda really will have sold those last few consoles that needed selling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think.
But I think that's true in terms of the Western audience, like Europe and America, but like Japan, I mean, Zelda didn't sell well at all, did it? I think their love for Zelda is waning really badly. Even though they're looking forward to Phantom Hourglass, but I think that's because I think everyone in Japan has a DS. So.
But in Japan, like the best-selling Wii title for Japan was Wii Sports because they didn't get it bundled with the console.
Why? I mean,
but that wouldn't make much difference because who would buy it over here?
Well, no, actually, that's the thing.
I think I would have word of mouth.
Oh, yeah, but I wouldn't have bought it straight away. It would have been the game probably. I would have got a little bit later on, you know, because
it would have been something to pick up in the sales. Wouldn't
it didn't seem that good a game. It seemed okay, but it just seemed like a tech demo to show you what the Wiimote could do. And it obviously isn't. It's a very good.
Yeah, but having said that, you would have got your Wii and then saw you had a Mii channel and then been like, I really want to use the Mii's somehow, because there was only one game that was coming out at launch that was going to use it, so you would have bought Wii Sports anyway, just so you could use the functionality of it.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I think.
It's certainly the best multiplayer that I've got at the moment. I mean, like, there aren't many multiplayer experiences as far as I'm aware. Apart from, like, we've got WarioWare now, but apart from that, at launch there was only Wii Sports and Wii Play, and, like, Red Steel, but, like, Wii Sports and Wii Play were the main multiplayer, like, draws, whereas, like, GameCube had Super Smash Brothers, and N64 had Mario Kart, like pretty much, you know, very shortly after the N64 launched.
Dot.
Hello?
Anyone there?
Yes. I'm talking about N64 launch now.
We can do.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they were in PAL regions and North America, there were only two games, Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wings. And if you think about it now, a console would die. It shows how far things have moved on. But of course, Super Mario 64 was one of the most groundbreaking games, if not the most groundbreaking game ever to have really been ever been released. Perhaps you might say Wii Sports is, but I would disagree. I'd say Super Mario 64 is more groundbreaking. It's the first time Mario went into 3D. It was the first game of its kind. It was really just huge. Never been anything like it.
Did you say?
I seriously do think though that had Sony not come into the equation, then video games would have been dead.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Because the way Nintendo are taking it, they were killing it, just like Sony are doing now. And the fact that we've got Microsoft and Nintendo still here, that's the fact that's keeping it still alive. Because I think Sony would have, with the PS3, it looks like they're gonna drive into the ground. If this was the only console you could get.
Yeah, listen. We've talked about the past then. Let's talk about, we've talked about the future, let's talk about the past. So, saying that Sony didn't ever come into it, they never even partnered up with Nintendo to do this CD jobby that they were doing. Do you genuinely think that the video games would have just, like, vanished and there would be no video games to this day? And instead of...
I think that's a little extreme, but they'd probably become less popular, like more obscure. Obviously not like, within a couple of years, probably over like the course of like 10 years. So if there'd been no Sony PlayStation and N64 battle, then like today, it would literally just be one or possibly a second console with a few games, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, it was Sony that made playing games acceptable again.
I know this is a
You know,
Nintendo podcast,
With
but
the PlayStation, they totally pushed
I think. Well, I have to admit, I didn't get an N64. The GameCube was where I came into Nintendo, but I am a genuine fan. Don't worry. But yeah.
Really? That's really strange, that GameCube.
Well, no. Oh, no. It was the first home console. I've always had the Game Boys, like, ever since.
Oh, you had
Yeah,
the Game Boy,
since-
okay. So the legacy of the Game Boy.
Well, the Game Boys,
Okay.
like, the Game Boys have always been, you know, like, the handheld winners, you know.
Yeah, they are.
So
they are.
what-
It's the PSP is. I'm not a fanboy, but it sold so few copies, and everyone's like, "Oh, it sells millions more than DS. Yeah, it sells thousands. Yeah. DS
They're
is
lying.
shit. Look at those look at them graphics. Yeah." And it's just like, yeah, well, why don't you just see which has sold millions worldwide and which hasn't, and then we'll see. And they go, "Yeah, it doesn't matter about sales, about how good it is." And I said, "Yeah, well, if no one's buying it, then that sort of shows which one's better. You know, it shows which one's better."
We all know what happened to the Dreamcast.
No,
after
wait,
all.
but to be totally honest and frank, half of the DS's success is due to the Game Boy and the Nintendo name with handheld gaming. You know,
Yeah,
what it means. It means
and
good.
that's what I was trying to say earlier. Nintendo they've always owned the handheld. I don't think, up until now, I don't think their home consoles have been as good as their handhelds, but that's just because I've probably never played some of the really good games. But
I just think they've totally played up the fact that, you know, the DS is doing so well, when it would have done well anyway because of the legacy of the Game Boy. Had they not had the legacy of the Game Boy to fall back on, then I don't think the DS would have sold as much. If you get what I mean.
yeah. But just looking back on it now, I just think,
Yeah.
listen to this is really weird, but when I got my GameCube, that's when I started getting Nintendo official magazine. This is completely just, but and then, you know, obviously Nintendo official magazine died, and Onum came out, official Nintendo magazine. So I went on the forums there, and I'm talking to Matt, and we set up the podcast. I think the DS had just come out. Yeah, it was, wasn't it, Tom? The DS came out that was their first issue or something like that. No, that's not right. No.
First issue. No, Onom started about a year ago.
Yeah, it did. Came out in February.
It started towards
Yeah,
the beginning of this year. Last year even, sorry.
If I remember rightly, they started with all the information about the Revolution after, back when it was Revolution, after the first Tokyo Game Show, revelation of the motion sensing. They came out with that about 2 months after every other magazine.
Yeah, but I didn't become a really, really kick-ass hardcore Nintendo fan. I probably wouldn't even got a Wii if it wasn't for the DS, and that's when I started becoming a little bit more hardcore. And and now I'm just like, it's incredible how far I've come over a small amount of time.
Yeah,
Weird.
I've been a Nintendo fan since when I was little. I woke up on Christmas morning, went to the tree. What do I see? A Game Boy Color, and you know, they were pretty new out. I think I'd never played a video game before in my life, and they only had because it was very soon after launch. They only had the see-through purple one and the normal purple one. I had the see-through one, and you could see all the insides. And it was just, I got a Tetris DX, which was in color because I had a Game Boy. I got Game Boy Color obviously, and I also got Game Watch Gallery 2, and I must have 15 games for it. That games console was really. I still play on it occasionally these days. It had the first ever Pokemon.
Oh my god!
It had a.
That's one of the memories. I mean,
it was just
when Jesus Christ! I went downstairs.
It was like
I went
magic.
downstairs, and that's the first Nintendo console I ever got, my Game Boy Color. And and it was just there. I was been waiting for it for so long, and then I got it, and I got what was it? Breakout. I got Breakout. That was the first game I ever played on a Nintendo console, or probably the first game I ever played. Because
So Ben, you started on Nintendo, right? Tom, you started on Nintendo. What about you, James? Where did you start?
I remember when Father Christmas brought me a NES with Super Mario Brothers, and I lost about 2 weeks to the game, and I couldn't get off of World 4. I was like, I've always been Nintendo. I've branched like in the last year or two to PlayStation just to see what the other side have got, but I've always been Nintendo.
I would, yeah, but to be honest, there can't be that many people who didn't start with Nintendo for gaming, whether they've carried on with them or not. Because let's be honest, Nintendo were the first.
There was Sega. Remember
the
Sega?
first big ones, and they were the no, but they weren't big.
No, but Sega were the Mega Drive, because that was the first home console I ever played.
I
That's
never
the thing.
played Sega.
Listen to this. This is how wild this is. I've never even touched a NES before. I've never touched SNES. You know, I've never
Me neither.
It's weird.
Oh no, I've never had a SNES.
We're too
My
young.
parents
Oh, yeah.
They bought me a NES when the SNES came out.
You see,
No.
with me, the first console I got was my cousin gave me his old Master System 2. So I was a Sega fanboy, and I played the inbuilt Alex the Kid, and I loved that. That was it was their Mario, basically. It was their answer to Mario. Even though people say Sonic was their answer to Mario, Alex the Kid, I don't know if you played it, it's the nearest thing to Mario that they had at that time. And so I played
I think a friend of mine had that.
I played that and Sonic, and then I'd always wanted Nintendo stuff. I mean, I remember watching the Mario cartoons, and that's how I kind of got into Nintendo more. Since I'm young, I've always worn Nintendo clothes. It sounds stupid, but
Yeah,
I always have.
Nintendo cartoons
I
were
have a
probably
passion
my
for them,
first
I want
experience of Nintendo too. Because I used to watch the Super Mario cartoon and the Zelda cartoon, and I didn't play Mario until about a couple of years after when I got the NES. And Zelda I completely forgot about until I got Ocarina of Time. So yeah, Nintendo have been back even back then.
Yeah, this is the worst thing. I really hated Zelda before. My friend had it on the SNES, and I just got my SNES. My mum and dad got me one for Christmas with Mario All Stars, which I loved, and I never used to play anything else for a whole year. See, back then you used to get a game and play it for a year. Now you get a game and play it for 4 weeks and you're bored
That
and
is
you want something
extremely
else.
true. It's like I had.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's. Oh my god. Wow. I'm just overwhelmed.
But yeah, I played Zelda, and he used to play Zelda, and I used to, oh god, I used to fall asleep. I used to really hate Zelda on the SNES. That's why I don't think I really get on with the 2D ones.
The first.
Because I've just got that stigma of just...
The first Zelda I ever played was Link's Awakening DX on the Game Boy Color, and I remember going. I was going over to Spain, I think, and so we're in the duty free, and my dad said, "Oh, you can get a game if you like," and it was the first game I'd got for my Game Boy in freaking ages.
What was it?
Zelda Link's Awakening DX.
that game is
And
the sex.
And
god
listen,
of
I never
gaming.
even got past the second
I love
the second dungeon thingy. But I was only 7 or 8. I wasn't very clever back then. But no, oh my god. Seriously, that game is just like the Ponage.
That game, yeah, it's the tunes, it's just so memorable. It's Ocarina of Time in a handheld form, and I love it. And the tunes,
I've still
one
yet
of
to
them
play
is
Link
actually
to
just
the Past.
amazing. The one running in the forest, dun, 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 dun. It's just real music, although it's not really, I suppose. But anyway, I'm being an idiot.
Did you hear about people playing through Zelda games without getting the sword? Like Link to the Past without using the sword? You can actually play the whole game without a sword, apparently. Just using arrows and bombs. It's a bit retarded, but...
I could never pull off the arrow bomb trick like in Link's Awakening though, so I was really pleased in Twilight Princess when it was actually an option.
To do what, sorry? Bomb and arrows, yeah, that's cool.
Bomb arrows, yeah.
I have one complaint about that. One complaint. Okay, so you go to the bomb shop. Oh yeah, I've got some new water bombs. Oh cool, they can be used underwater. Oh, I've got some new bombings. I'm thinking, oh cool, I'll need to use them somewhere. I used them once because I thought they might work somewhere, and they didn't. You don't need them in the game. The little bombs that run around.
Yeah, but you do have the choice.
Oh, what, the bomb shoes?
Yeah, you don't need them.
You don't need them in Ocarina of Time, though, did you?
You did.
No, you didn't. You
No,
didn't need
not
them
really.
at all in Ocarina of Time. You could have got through it without it.
Yeah, but they did help. I mean, these ones don't.
I guess so. It's like the ice arrows in Ocarina of Time. You didn't need those. You got them from that
You
guru.
did.
Actually, that made
No,
me
you didn't need the
laugh.
ice arrows.
Ocarina
I got them
of Time-
after I
You didn't
completed
need
the
them, but
game.
they were cool.
Ocarina of Time, when you take
Yeah, let's be
ages through
honest.
that Gerudo dungeon, trying to get the damn like complete their test, and then you get the ice arrows, and there's no point in them.
But they are pretty cool. They do free stuff.
They were better in the Majora's Mask, where you could use them to like make
Yeah, you had to use them.
platforms and stuff. That
Across
was
the canyon.
much better.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're
I'm
a
like,
bit off
I'm going to
topic.
quote you on about because Ocarina of Time isn't my speciality, and I'm just sat here.
Well, here we go. Here's one. All right, on the GameCube, because I'm assuming, did you all have GameCubes?
Yeah, but I see. That's the
I
thing.
got mine a year ago.
I've got
so
my
I got it.
GameCube like in its last year of existence. So, if I can tell you the games I've got: Chibi Robo, Battalion Wars, Geist, Smash Football, which is what is it in America? Someone, what's it called? Mario. Yeah, that's the one. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and that I've clocked like 100+ hours on that. That's like the best game ever. Seriously.
Because I was going to say, like, what was the first game you played on your GameCube?
What was it?
About it?
I got it, and I got I got the Pokemon Coliseum deal. Remember that? It was like 100 quid, and you got a GameCube and Pokemon Coliseum with it.
Yeah.
From game, yeah. I got that, and also it came with the Legend of Zelda 4 Collector's Disc Edition thingy. So I played Ocarina. That's the first game I ever played on my cube, Ocarina of Time.
First game I played on my cube was Luigi's Mansion. I got Luigi's Mansion Rogue Leader 2, Rogue Squadron 2, and Monkey Ball on launch.
First
And
I
out
played
of
was
all of them,
Wind
I
Waker.
think Monkey Ball was the best. Even though I got Monkey Ball as like a throwaway. I was like gonna get it. I was gonna get that or Sonic Battle. I think it was. Was it Sonic Adventure 2 Battle that was out on launch? I think so.
What?
It was that or Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Did that come out on GameCube?
I think so, yeah. It's my favourite game.
Yeah, I was gonna get that on Monkey Ball, and I wasn't sure. And then, because I got it from Toys R Us, and then I left, and then my friend was like, maybe we got Monkey Ball in Curry's, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I went there and they had one copy, and I bought it, and I'm just so glad I got that. Because if I didn't get that, man, my launch wouldn't have been as good. I love Monkey Ball. You lot don't like Monkey Ball.
I don't like it. I've never had a chance to play it.
It's like a bloody mini game.
I suck at it, that's why I don't like it. But like my first GameCube game, like I got Luigi Mansion, Smash Brothers, and Rogue Leader. But the first one I put in was Rogue Leader because that was just such a cool game. And there wasn't on Wii one that I desperately wanted to put in, apart from Zelda. There wasn't one that I desperately wanted to put in and keep playing. And like, I mean, I still play Rogue Leader now, but all my Wii games, I'm not tiring of them as such, but I'm not as excited about them as I was about like GameCube or N64. I don't have as much time for it as I used to.
Right. So I was paying no attention then. I was.
Do you zone out when we did it?
Yeah, sometimes. I don't usually. It's because I've like got other things to do today. I've just changed insulins on my diabetic thing,
Webcam.
and I'm looking at a girl I like on webcam and reading messages and stuff. So
I think that's the real distraction, the girl, isn't it?
maybe. Yeah, well, whatever. Let's not tell the listeners why we get distracted. No need to do that.
Yes.
I'll go on to
If
say
the girl
what
is a
games
listener,
I got on the
email in.
GameCube.
Oh, the girl won't be listening. If she does, that's kind of screwed. But you know,
That's creepy. That would be really creepy. She won't be listening. That's for sure. Was there more discussion to be had?
Well,
I can't remember.
We were doing launches, but somehow we went into
yeah, we
nostalgia.
just
Okay,
floated
back
around.
to
It's pretty
what
fun.
is The first N64 game I played was Ocarina of Time. What did I get? I got at launch. I got Ocarina of Time. Mario.
What do you mean at launch? You mean when you got the game, not
When I
at
yeah,
launch.
that's what I mean. When
Yeah,
I got it,
okay.
sorry.
Your launch.
Because I was young when I got it. Because you guys are all older, so me and Ben are the same age. I got Mario 64, GoldenEye, and Zelda. And those games are some of the... Perhaps because they're my first console game, but they are some of the 3 best games I've ever played in my life.
listen, right?
Oh, they just...
Right, listen.
Awesome.
The first N64 game I played. Right, my friend down the road. We're kind of not friends anymore, but he got this N64, and I went round and we played Pokemon Stadium for hours and hours and hours because we'd obviously got red and blue and we were playing as teams on it. And then he got a Banjo-Kazooie. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I love Banjo-Kazooie.
I literally, he was on.
It's amazing,
He
still
was
amazing.
like, at his dad's one day, and I was so desperate to play it. It's like a craving or something, and I was just about ready to go round to his house and ask his mum if I could come in and play it because I was that desperate to like play it. But then I didn't, so I didn't. And then the other game, there was this cat. It was like, I can't remember what it were, but it was this cat. And I think it was like a side scroller or something, but I can't remember.
Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie is...
Was it Mischief Makers?
No.
Oh,
It,
no, maybe not.
it had a rate retarded name, but I can't.
Wasn't Space Station in
Banjo-Kazooie.
Silicon Valley, was it?
No.
Okay, here we go. Banjo-Kazooie was one of the best titles ever on the N64. I've got Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, and if only the Xbox One was coming to Wii. Although I don't know if it'll be as good, because...
No, the Xbox One won, no way.
Day wasn't here. It isn't here now. Those games, if you have an N64, if you have an N64, go out onto eBay and buy them now. You'd enjoy them so much. They're funny. They are actually funny. Because in England, we use the word hell, we use the word crap, and they don't mean anything. Whereas I just know that in America, hell brings a very bad stigma. In England, it's nothing.
Well, there you go. You just like completely blasphemed you, saying you goes, hell, it's nothing. God, it just said God, and then.
Yeah, I do
Hell
that.
yeah!
At least I'm not saying worse words.
Berate.
But sorry, I'm being IM'd. Oh, bloody hell.
But for me, the best game on the N64, apart from Ocarina of Time, which you know is probably the best game, Diddy Kong Racing.
That game is okay. I don't know.
I love that game. It's so much better than Mario Kart 64. It's better than Mario Kart 64.
Mario Kart 64 is
No.
the best Mario Kart ever.
The main problem with Mario Kart is the fact that when you get an item, it's random. Right? It may be random in tiers, like if you're first, then you're usually going to get a banana or a shell. If you're in the middle, you're going to get either maybe red shells and, what other items are there, Mario Kart?
Yeah, and...
You get green shells. And if you're at the back, you blatantly get a blue shell or loads of red shells, right? But in Diddy Kong Racing, there's different balloons that you have to collect, right? There's red balloons, green balloons, and there's blue balloons, and there's these like yellowy party balloons. But anyway, the red balloons give you a missile when you go through them, right? If you hang on to that missile and get another red balloon, then it turns into a homing missile.
Yeah, did you ever play Lego
If you get the
Racers?
third balloon, you get 10. No, I never played Lego Racers.
Lego Racers was a great game.
Tom.
Although it sounds rubbish.
Tom.
But,
No,
it's
I'm
well
agreeing with
good,
you.
yeah.
That was a great game. I loved it, because you could make your own little Lego man. Yeah.
It was awesome. But about it did that, but I prefer the randomness, because with Mario Kart it makes it more frantic, like, oh, I really want a red shell, oh no, I've got banana, and it gives a bit more variety. In the N64 version, to be fair, they weren't random, it wasn't random every time, whereas if you went through the box on the left each time, you would get a red shell, but like on certain places, but
yeah, but the Mario Kart just had Grand Prix mode, and that was it, and then mirror mode. Right? And easy, hard, medium. But Diddy Kong Racing had a whole adventure. It was like, you'd go into a world, you'd start off in a dinosaur world, you'd do like one race, and you'd unlock the next door to go into the next race. Then you'd do that race, and there was a hub world as well. And once you did like 4 of the races, all 4 of the races, or 5 of the races, the main door would open in that world, and there'd be a boss.
Listen.
And you'd go in there and be like a Triceratops.
Right? What you've just said is like Crash Team Racing. That was the first kart game I ever played, and I think it must be then a fusion of Diddy Kong and Mario Kart, but more Diddy Kong.
Yeah, well that's what that Crash Bandicoot does, isn't it?
But it's a good. No, it is a good franchise.
Insomniac have no original ideas when they create their games. Like Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, come on!
Like Nintendo make a game.
Ratchet and Clank is an awesome game, man. Shut up.
Wait, stop! Everyone, but listen to me. Everyone makes a platform game, right? And everyone just makes it. Oh, you're a character, and that's it. Nintendo make a platform game. With Mario Sunshine, and they put a device. So Mario has this thing that squirts water. What happens after that? The next year and the coming months, everyone makes a platform game where the main character has some kind of device, be it a gun, be it something that helps him float or whatever.
I don't know, because I hated, what I loved about Mario is there's nothing you have that you need to use strategically. It's not a strategy game. I don't mind strategy, but you know, you look at it and it's easy. Sunshine, however, just does not have the same appeal. You've got this water, but you've only got a limited amount, and that really, for me, didn't.
Yeah, but you never run out of your limit,
as I
did you?
wanted it to be. I did nearly once.
Oh, but the different nozzles are really cool, like the rocket nozzle and the hover nozzle and stuff. And some people didn't like it because some people said it got too hard. Like, if you get actual all 128 shines, that is so hard. That's what made the game really good.
But then the flip side of the coin would be
completing the game was enough.
Was the flood just a gimmick rather than an actual game mechanic? Was it just a gimmick?
No, it totally wasn't a gimmick. Not for that game.
Yeah, but it could have been. I mean, like,
go back and play it, and you'll see.
Super Mario 64 showed that they can do a Mario platformer without giving him some sort of device. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the game completely. I'm just trying to add a little spice to the argument here. But it could be argued that it doesn't need the flood.
But what made it really cool is that Nintendo knew this, and they made it so that when some levels, the evil Mario would come and take away your pack, and it'd be like Mario 64 again. And those void levels, in which you didn't have your water pack and you just had to get to a shrine, were like Mario 64 levels.
I think that's I think that was the development team keeping Shigsy happy. I mean, I read somewhere once that, you know, the Bowser levels in Super Mario 64 where it's just some random platforms hanging in a void. That's how Shigsy wanted to do the whole of Super Mario 64, but they said but the development team overruled him and made like proper worlds. And personally, I prefer proper worlds, but he wanted it to be all just random platforms. So, you know, again, in Super Mario Sunshine, they're just keeping him happy by doing those void worlds. Super Mario Galaxy, he's got his way, because it's all like just random planetoids
stuff
and
hanging in the air
and so forth. You know,
that's what I wanted to talk about, which I didn't get to talk about last week, which was about Mario Galaxy. And that, like, have you seen how like the things that float into space are like Nintendo stuff? Like there was a Tetris block, and there was the rocket from Pikmin, Olimar's rocket.
No, I haven't
There's
seen
going to be loads of those kind of nostalgic Nintendo things in that game. I can't wait. Yeah, like a massive trifle-shaped planet or something.
That would be cool.
Perhaps they could do that for like Smash Brothers. They could have like rather than the adventure mode, they could have like a Nintendo Galaxy.
Oh yeah, that would be so cool. Yeah.
Can I just comment? Because obviously I wasn't. I know it's annoying. I wasn't on the last episode or two. And I'm sorry about that. But when you were talking about Mario Galaxy, people are saying, "Oh God, it's all going to be mini islands or mini planets or big planets." I don't think it will be. You know, Nintendo aren't stupid. They need to go back to the original formula that Sunshine, this offensive, it just was nowhere near as good as 64. There was no comparison between the two. I really don't enjoy Sunshine. And for me, at least, I'm sure they're going to be putting in... It's going to be that bit that we've seen, you know, small... we've only seen one level. For all we know, you know, everything else is going to be different. We don't know enough about it to judge it yet. And it's not... I don't know, did we say it in the news or last week? It's been delayed till Christmas. So, I don't think we're going to be...
Well, I've read that there is going to be a hub. Like Peach's Castle was a hub for Super Mario 64, there will be a hub for Super Mario Galaxy.
Ooh, listen, maybe his hub is his ship, and then he like goes in a thing and it teleports him.
I like that. That's cool.
I'm sorry about I'm like not inputting much. You're talking about Super Mario Sunshine, I haven't played that, and we kind of talked about Galaxy last week, so yeah.
Well, I'm sorry because I'm going to have to go now. So I'll see you lads later.
Okay then, bye James.
Bye.
Okay, he's gone. Well, he probably aren't, but you know.
I still don't see why people don't like Mario Sunshine as much as Mario 64. I can see that it wasn't like, the first 3D game, blah blah blah. But Mario Sunshine was such a good game. Why don't you like it? I don't understand.
I don't know. Mario 64 was great. Anyone could enjoy it. Sunshine felt childish. Shines, or whatever they were called, the way they were changed, they needed to be stars. And the game just annoyed me. I don't know.
They can't keep the same.
Really annoyed me.
Look, they can't keep the same formula all
I
the time.
charming.
People are going to get bored.
I know.
Exactly.
I'm just saying I didn't like the changes.
Exactly.
I'm saying I didn't like the changes that they put in.
I like the fact that they kind of tried to destroy everything that a platform gamer was, like ice level, a fire level, and this level and that level. All the gaming cliches that platform games have, and they shattered it just by having this environment which was a bit more had a bit more continuity to it. Which
probably.
That word. You get what I mean? And all the different missions, like, okay, in Mario 64, I guess you could stumble upon a star. That's the thing that I liked in Mario 64. Whereas in Mario Sunshine, you go into a level and it's focused on that shine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Although
one thing I just didn't like.
I don't know. I don't like the game at all.
Right, tell you what then.
I want to put a poll in the
just sort
forums
of-
actually.
Listen. Yeah, we'll do that when we finish. Okay, look. We're just floating now, so I think we have to wrap this up. Really.
It's gone a bit off topic, but I think it's been an interesting
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah, it was main discussion, random crap about everything Nintendo. Basically, there was no base to it, but bit rate. Okay, so onto our updates section, and we had a big update this week.
No updates this week.
What? I'm gonna say yeah, we've had a huge update. Probably the best one so far. The news channel.
Yay!
It's awesome. It's so much better than I expected it to be.
It has
That's
its own
what makes-
character as well.
Yeah, like the little. It's done like
The little cat returns as well. Little cat.
Yeah. It's weird. But one thing I can comment or complain about is you get like loaded with tons and tons of news stories that I know they're all. Are we going to get the same amount every day? If it's coming from every single country, then because I think that'll just get annoying.
They're gonna get what? Sorry, I didn't hear that at all.
Didn't you see that when you first started up, you had like hundreds upon hundreds of news stories from all over the world?
Yeah, I saw that.
And don't you think that if we're going to get that like every day or every week, that's going to get kind of annoying? If you want to find a particular news story, it's hard to.
Not really. There's different sections. There's like there's sports, business, technology, regional. So it's not really that hard to find the news.
And also, it did say, if you read on the message, that we got the first version of the news channel. So that sort of confirms that there are going to be more updates to it as we go along. Yeah. No.
Yeah, they
Yes,
totally.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, they did say this is the first version, and it's going to be a second one soon.
Yeah.
That's
I
better
didn't
than
expect
that.
anything like that. I mean, that's one thing I kind of like and I don't like about the Wii. Personally, I'd much rather have everything the same style, everything the same sort of, the same buttons, the same font and everything. But it seems that each channel has got its completely own style, and I'm a person who'd much rather have, everything the same. But
No, I like that. With
Yeah.
this channel, if you look at it, they've incorporated the photo channel basically, right? The background is a bit like the photo channel, and then it's got a bit of the weather channel in that it's got the globe. It's like they've fused the two channels together, and it gives it its own character. I like the fact that they're completely different because it I don't know, it's like a different environment every time you go onto a different channel. Otherwise, it would just seem boring if it was the same interface. Even the shopping channel looks different to everything else. If you get what I mean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least it could have the same buttons, because everything's different. Like, when you go on the weather channel, the buttons are different to when you go on the me channel or the main menu. It's, come on,
No,
own opinions.
What do you mean by the buttons? I mean, the text zoom and slideshow and stuff is just like the photo channel.
No,
It's
not
not
the
that
buttons you press on the controller, the actual buttons on the screen that you press. Like, if you're on the home page, they're like them rounded, oval shaped things. Yet when you go on the photo channel, it's all squared off.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
There's something I was talking to James about earlier, and they were talking about filtering, and I thought they were going to filter news. So if you imagine Sony having if they had hello, is anyone there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, if they had their own news channel, do you think they would filter out Nintendo news? Because Nintendo hasn't done that. I've got
no.
this. There's a review
Yeah.
of Windows Vista on here.
And there's also a review of what's it called, Lost Planet, is it, for the Xbox 360?
Really?
Yeah, I found it. Yeah.
See, I think that's pretty cool because it's actually just the world. It's actually
But
the news.
remember, this isn't a console. This isn't just a games console.
That's
Is
what
it? It's a family thing. It's
That's what I mean. It's a convergence device. It's
And what
turning
I
into a
hope
convergence device.
Well, what I hope is eventually people buy the Wii, not for games at all. Maybe you can get other things that you just buy on discs and put on there. It eventually just becomes this weather, news, media hub center thing, and then the games console bit is just there for people who want it for games. But
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
It's like phones. People buy phones for the camera and stuff, and then.
Yeah, that's what you see, I'd much rather, I'd still rather have a digital camera to take pictures with.
Yeah,
No
I have a
matter
really.
how good.
I actually do have that. I have a digital camera and then I have a shitty phone because I just want my phone to talk to people and that's it. I don't want my battery to be drained for like 3 hours.
Sorry guys, I've got to go. Dinner. But I knew I was going to be rushed.
Okay.
But sorry.
Dropping out.
But I'll see you
Alright,
later.
cool.
Bye bye.
Take care. See
See
ya.
ya. Bye.
Okay, that's Tom gone as well. So it's just
Tom
back
gone.
to me and Manny, but we're kind of in the main
the
discussion.
good old days. Everything's gonna dry up now.
So yeah, overall rate
No,
for the
but
news
it's-
channel, Manny, out of.
Well, at the moment I'll give another score next week, but at the moment it's a 10 because I think it's.
Yeah.
I don't think they could have done it any better.
I'll give it
to be honest.
9.5. It's when I think I was expecting not as much. It is really good, isn't it? You know, it's like have you noticed that when you zoom out on the when you
that's what I was
when you
gonna
zoom
say.
out on the globe, all the news stories come together in countries or like in like regions and then countries and then you know and then as you zoom in, the countries will like flick out to different areas and stuff.
Yeah, and then when you like click on like if you go to like the list of the news and you click on the English lessons to be mandatory in all Hungarian high schools, you click on it and then on the right it tells you what there's like a little
Like radar
on the right
thing.
a little radar thing and it shows the map and you can click on it and then it'll go to the map and then you zoom out and there's newspapers all over the globe. Did you see that bit? The way the
That's
newspaper
what I meant.
shuffle?
That's what I meant by
Yeah.
we're getting flooded at the moment, but I hope that eventually it just clears up and you know.
My God, this is like that interface we looked at before, Ben. Do you remember a long time ago when I sent you a YouTube clip?
No.
My God. Yeah, and there's only one picture on there. Have you only found one picture so far of some dude?
Picture.
There's one picture of a man. It says, "Police fugitive stole country singer." A fugitive who apparently fled to Tennessee to see his ailing mother was being sought Friday in Florida in the theft of a tour bus owned by country singer Crystal Gale. And there's a picture of him.
Oh, I get what you mean. You mean like a picture of the news story sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I only
that's
had
the only picture.
I only had 10 minutes to have a quick play around with it, so yeah.
No, but the cool thing is that picture's there so that like if you see him, do you know what I mean? It's like a wanted poster,
Oh right, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
So
I don't know why there's no other pictures on there. There's only one for.
overall,
Nashville.
come on then. Overall, it's better than what I expected, and I'm happy
Yeah,
with it.
everyone update it and just check it out because it's just really cool.
That's one
I'm
thing I
really
am
happy
really
with
pissed
it.
off about though. The updates. Why can't they do them overnight? Why can't they use this Weekend 24 system that they've been bragging
Yeah,
about?
they're not using it, are they?
At all.
They're not using it.
These updates
at
should
all.
be sent to us overnight, and then in the morning you can get the letter and press update, and it installs it. So there, you're ready to go.
Yeah. But in this, you have to update it and sit there and watch it load.
And it takes like
All this long
15 minutes or something. It's ridiculous.
It doesn't take 15 minutes.
Alright, 10 minutes.
Take about 10 minutes. At least we don't have to endure some of the 360 load times that they have, which is like 40 minutes to download
Wow.
some updates. Yeah.
Okay, well,
But yeah, it's totally right what you're saying about.
also, when you're buying a virtual console game, that is so annoying. Because if you like getting Super Mario 64, that's a long download time compared to, you know, some of the games. And then you've got stupid Mario going by. Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. And when you've got that for like 10 minutes, kind of, you know, you're hitting mute because it's just retarded.
Yeah. On the news channel, do you think it's cool the way that like there's a lot more news for where you are than anywhere else?
Yeah,
world.
it's good. Yeah.
That's really cool because you don't want to know all this stuff about.
Tokyo and
then, yeah, it's rubbish.
Yeah. Well,
So that's really cool.
and apart from that, I think that's all the updates, isn't it? For this.
Yeah.
Okay, so online section this week. The Weekade playtest of the week is Accumulate. This is on the homepage of Weekade. I think it's in like featured games or something like that. Manny, did you check it out when I told you to?
No, when did you tell me?
I told you in a chat, but it don't matter.
Oh, sorry.
It's basically you use the Wiimote and the Wiimote is a square, and basically you have to dodge the balls that are bouncing around, dodge the red ones, grab the green ones, and every time you grab a green one, it multiplies. So you grab a green one, you get 2 green ones. You grab another green and you get 4 green ones, 8 green ones, and the red ones come up in like every time you get a green one, another red one appears, sort of thing, and it's just basically dodging the red ones, grabbing the green ones.
Sounds cool.
It is, but it's tedious because it's really good on the PC because the Wiimote hand isn't over the square. Because at first you can't see how big your square is because the Wiimote hand's completely covering it, and you might touch the.
Yeah, that is a bit annoying. The Wiimote hand.
Yeah.
Even when you're playing Tactical Assassin, the hand gets in the way.
Yeah, but apart from that, I mean, I've got some scores here. The graphics are 5 because it's just a grey square, green dots, red dots, yellow dots. That's it. Sound 0 because, as far as I could tell, there was none. There was an unmute button in the bottom, but I couldn't press it. It was unpressable, so the sound gets a 0. Gameplay 6. It's easy at first, but gets a lot harder as more of the balls appear, and it is pretty. It's more difficult to play on the Wii, which is good because it is a pretty easy game otherwise. And replayability 4. You'll play it once or twice, and then you'll leave it alone. Website of the week. Manny, have you got one? Yes or no? Or because I haven't wrote one down.
No.
Alright, well, www.gonintendo.com.
Yeah, that is a really good website.
It's a good website and add it to your live bookmarks. It's a good little news site.
Yeah, and it has a funny podcast as well.
Yeah, go check that out, but don't stop listening to us.
They won't stop listening to us. They know it better.
Okay then, right. Fan mail. Here we go. The first one is from Callum Gaynor Kirk, and he says, "Dear Weeds, your podcast is really good for the news about Nintendo because there is nothing in the newspaper that tells you all about the latest video games news. Do you guys all live in the same state? Thanks." Well, for a start, we live in the UK, which is England, or whatever, and no, we don't all live in the same state. We all live in different counties, so that answers your question. Also, you say our podcast is really good for news about Nintendo, but there are like hundreds of Nintendo websites out there that can tell you the latest news. So, the newspaper isn't the only thing that tells you the news. But,
Ours is more about the opinions of Nintendo gamers.
Yeah, exactly. We're not, yeah.
We don't focus on the news too much because we think that it's boring to talk about the news. You can check out that news yourself on websites and stuff, but our opinions, you can't just go on the net and grab our opinions, can you? Our opinions
are completely biased to what we think.
Yeah. To Nintendo.
Right. Second fan mail is from Steve Norman, and he says, "Hey guys, just a simple question. Since you have played the Wii and understand the power to its full potential, would you say that it would be worth going negative in my bank account and perhaps securing several, and I do mean several, more charges, most likely affiliated with the Wii as well? Plus, what's your personal must-haves for the system? Manny John, answer this question. Or questions."
No, I don't think it's worth getting into debt for. As long as you know that, like, say you're gonna get, like, if you work or whatever and you're gonna get paid in, like, the next 2 days, then yeah, that's okay. But if you know you've got no income coming in, then no, don't. It's just stupid. For any console, you shouldn't get yourself into debt for.
I mean, if you've barely got enough money to keep yourself on your feet with food and water, don't go.
Yeah, your health is more important than. Video games are luxury,
Yeah.
They're not essential.
So, that's a warning to everyone. If the Wii 2 comes out, and it's got, like, better graphics than friggin' PlayStation 4 and Xbox 360 put together, still, don't get yourself into debt, because, it's not worth it. Right, that's all for this fan mail this week, because we're kind of running low. Our fan mail bank is running dry, and we need some emails, so we'll give the email at the end of the show, and then you've got to email us. So, release dates, here we go. For 2nd of February, we've got Arthur and the Invisibles, Contact, March of the Penguins, New Zealand Story Revolution, Poorly Pets, My Pet Hotel, Poorly Pets, My Vet Practice, Uno Skipbo, Uno Freefall, all for the DS. 9th of February, Avatar, The Legend of Aang for Wii and DS, Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, Biker Mice from Mars, Cartoon Network Grand Prix, Disney's Kim Possible, Flipper Critters, Garfield's Nightmare, Impossible Mission, Magical Star Sign, Pro Evolution Soccer 6, DS, all for the DS. And Barnyard for the Wii. 16th February, Deep Labyrinth, Lionel Trains on Track, Mario Slam Basketball, all for the DS, and Excite Truck for the Wii.
Basketball. What are you doing that? Like, sit by a tube station and play guitar and, throw some coins in the guitar case.
Yeah, 23rd of February, Courier in Power for the Wii. 2nd of March, Sonic and the Secret Rings, The Ant Bully, both for the Wii. Definitely getting Sonic and the Secret Rings. Looks awesome. 16th of March, SSX Blur, The Grim Adventures of Billy. And that's it. All for the Wii. Okay.
I just want to talk about Sonic for a second.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I've heard that the controls are quite erratic.
Well, I'm just saying, so far it looks good, and we'll just have to see, won't we?
It does look good, yeah. It does. And I've heard there's a lot of stages, right?
Well,
It's a long game, I hear.
the graphics are nice on it
You
as
can
well,
level
aren't
up
they?
as well. Yeah.
It's
I like the
actually-
art.
It's one of the nicer looking Wii. I mean, Pokemon is just the best looking Wii game so far. It's like 360
Yeah.
standard, but Sonic looks nice with all the lighting effects
Yeah.
and stuff.
As long as it's, I don't know, half as good as the 360 one. The 360 one I heard is just terrible. Seriously, I've heard it's just like really bad. It plays itself apparently. You could just you could start the first level and then put your controller down, and I don't know about the physics or something, but the game just starts playing itself, and you can just it just starts running itself. So that is game.
Well, for some reason, our Virtual Console news source, we're going to try and get a new one, but the one we're using at the moment isn't providing us with Virtual Console things. But I have heard that Mario Kart 64 has come out in Australia on the Virtual Console. Not sure about anywhere else, but that's over there.
Yeah, it's out here. Mario Kart 64 is out
okay,
here.
then, well, that's good.
I saw it I was on it midnight last night, and it was there. And I don't have enough points for it, so I'm going to have to wait till next week.
Alright, and so we're going
Definitely getting
to
it.
be wrapping up soonish. It's just the community outlet thingy to do. Right, remember to email us at WiiDSpodcast@gmail.com. That is WiiDSpodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts about the show and the host, as well as any suggestions you think could make the show better. Also, email us in with the quirky show start things, you know. I don't know, it isn't a show about blah blah blah. If you've got any good ones, email them in. Also, be sure to check out our MySpace at www.myspace.com/TheWiiDS the WiiDS podcast, to add us and see what we really like. And finally, the forums are back up running and perfect. They're not going to fail again, so go visit them at www.WiiDSforum.com and join the community. And that's it for this week. Great discussion, don't you think, Manny? Brilliant discussion.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we had lots of people, so it's a good old time.
Brilliant. So quickly wrapping it up. From me, Ben.
Me, Manny.
See you, people.
See ya.